You are now listening to Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. Now, get ready to join today's conversation of topics with your host, Edigga.
What is good? What is good? What is good, good people? On this good Monday, brisk, windy. Whew, the wind is disrespectful. Yes, the wind is disrespectful, ladies and gentlemen, in the city of Baltimore. It is Let's Talk with Edigga. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a podcast, an interview style of podcast where I introduce to you, whether you're watching or listening, people of interest, people that have some things to talk about. That's right. That's right. We have it right here on Let's Talk with Edigga. Now, let me set some ground rules. If you're watching right now on YouTube, I thank you. But just don't watch, comment, like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. And if you're listening on WLEO 26.7 online radio, I know it's long, but that's how I get the name out. If you're listening, thank you for listening. And you can listen live, WLEO 26.7 online radio. Catch this show, but listen to the music. Great music from the 80s, 90s to 2000. Gospel, jazz, R&B, hip hop, you name it, it is there. People, tonight, I want to introduce this young man. He hit me up in one of the groups on Facebook and he said, "Hey, I want to be on your show." It was that easy. And I said, okay. And as you know, we did some research and I looked at all the things that he is doing. And I'm like, wow, like actor, host, podcast host, of course, uh, model, mental health advocate, professional mixologist, because he be making them drinks, and we going to talk about that. He be making them drinks. We're going to talk about all of that and so much more. My special guest today is none other than the host of Hear Me Out podcast, right here on Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. My man, Marco DePrence. How are you today, sir? Unmute your mic.
My bad. Thank you. What an intro. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Thank you for coming on the show. That's what we do, man. Podcasting. We met in a group. I believe it was the Black. Don't get me the lion. There's so many of them.
Black Podcast Association.
Yes. And you said, "Hey, raise my hand. I want to be in there." And that's what we do. We support each other because this industry, believe it or not, is so tight knit, and I love it. And that's the job of a podcaster, to get to know other people. And by
Right.
you being in podcast, I just want to say thank you for doing your part in this industry. So let's dig into it. Of course, I want to know, how long have you been podcasting?
My 2-year anniversary is next month on the 11th. So, yeah, quite some time. I'm almost hitting about 100 episodes.
Wow.
And yeah, I don't know, like even just like hearing 2 years and 100 episodes, it's like mind blowing to me.
Right.
Like I find the space to get back on the mic, share my mental health journey, cuss people out, and just create the space and the vibe that I want, whether people listen or not. Like it's something that I'm committed to. So yeah, I'm grateful.
That's what's up. Love it. What is your podcast? What is it about your podcast that you love the most? What is that thing that you do in your podcast that you just absolutely love the most when you do it?
I love to rant. So I can cuss anybody out from white folks to just black people on the internet just doing stupid fucking shit. But I just love that segment of it's fun. Some of it is serious, but like it's a place where I just let all the walls down, and it's my personal opinion of how I feel about those people. You know, like
I thought that was the only one.
I love ranting. I love finding topics. Yeah, I just love cussing people out in a comical way.
Okay, I thought that was the only one because I'm like you, man. Sometimes you just gotta let it out.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way? Whoever invented this podcasting thing,
mm-hmm.
my hat's off to you. Like this is my release. You see,
right?
And so, hey, it is nothing wrong. Sometimes you just gotta cuss people out.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve it, or they ask for it, and they gonna get it.
Right.
So that's how I feel. That's definitely how I feel. Talk about the evolution of podcasting. Now, it was when I started. I don't even know if they had a name for it yet, and then they attached the word podcast to it because I had a tablet, almost something similar to this, but I think a little bit bigger, and I found myself just sitting there, just talking into this thing. And I did it almost every day, and I would talk about anything, what I had to eat that morning, and how it looked outside. So talk about the evolution of podcasting because everybody is doing it now.
Yo, I seen this funny meme on the internet. That was like podcasting to black folks is like crack in the 70s and 80s. and all I could do is laugh. I was like, it's true, but I'm thankful for it. Not only for my space, but also to join people's space like yours. Like we get to talk about topics, we get to vibe and make connections along this way of our journey of creating spaces. I knew, so before podcasting, it was online radios. Just strictly, you had to go to the web and just listen to it every week or, however you did it. But I thought it was pretty cool that they came up with a whole separate app, a whole different, I don't want to say platform, but a whole separate thing, quote unquote. And it's something for independent creators like ourselves. We don't have no contracts. We got to go out and get our own sponsors. And, if a big, like it's something that you are passionate about. And the thing that I'm blessed about, like, well, it's like a pro and a con, but this is my space. This is my show. I created this from the ground up, and nobody else is about to come in here and fuck anything that I got going on. If I don't like the conversation, interview's over. Networks, if I don't like the contract, I'm not signing it. Like, I don't want to change. I'm all about advancing and growing, but I'm not going to change the content of what I'm talking about. Just like Charlemagne, he got a nighttime talk show. But still talk his shit.
Right. I'm like you. I created this from the ground up. It is somewhat like my child, and I'll be damned if anybody going to tell me how to change it, what not to talk, because you got people like that. I think you should talk about. No, I will talk about whatever is on my little brain at that time. Because people will definitely try you. And speaking of which, COVID has played a great deal in podcasting because many was quarantine. I was going to say quarantining, but I don't think quarantining is a word. So we quarantine. What were your thoughts on that? Because when like I said, when COVID first hit, and I was going online to try to buy equipment, and I couldn't buy equipment.
See, so mine was a little different. So I'm in my mind, the pandemic started March 2020.
Mm.
Because I still remember in February, I was still traveling. March was the last month that I could travel, and I went to my friend's wedding. And as soon as I got back to New York, when I was living in New York, the whole city shut down, literally a weekend before. And I was already podcasting, so I made it just like before all that. But to be completely honest, I started everything right here on this phone.
Okay.
Like I downloaded Anchor. I started talking in the mic. I had everything set up. When I'm getting in the mindset of podcasting, I turn a whole blue light on. And I was in my little studio apartment with my blue light on. I had the mic on my little like table, and I would just sit there with my journal and just talk. But over the months, I bought a computer, I bought a mic, I bought the mic stand, an iPad, and I was like, this is bigger than what I'm thinking of. So I'm grateful that podcasting has taken off since the pandemic.
Right.
Especially for us Black creators.
Yes.
I personally feel like we never had a space, especially on like CNN and ABC and things like the news channels to actually share our opinions and talk about the things in our community.
Right.
But this is our community now.
Yes.
All I listen to is Black independent podcasters.
Interesting. Before I go on, I want to just shout out one person if I can. Shout out to my sister, Tipsy Fiend. She over there, and we're going to talk about that because she's a mixologist as well.
Okay.
I noticed that you are, so you two definitely got something in common. Mixing them
drinks. Shout out to sister.
Yes. Shout out to Tipsy Fiend. She got this huge event picnic that's coming up, and hopefully we'll talk about that. But anywho, thanks for watching, by the way, Tipsy Fiend. Your podcast, Hear Me Out podcast. Tell the people out there what it is that you talk about on your podcast.
On my podcast, so the idea of Hear Me Out, every week you're going to get something new. I might be talking about relationships. I might be talking about love. Hell, I might just be fucking pissed off from the last 7 days, and I just might turn the mic on and just go.
There you go.
You never know. But one thing that you can catch in it is a therapy session. Like I'm gonna talk about my mental health journey. I'm gonna talk about how this particular situation fucked me up in the head. Because I'm a very big advocate for mental health, especially in our Black community. I started mental health at a very dark place, and to see where I have came from, like just looking at myself in the mirror, just having those Issa Rae mirror bitch moments, I'm like, you really came a long way. Wow. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And also I need to mention it's another show that you do as well. Is it your show or you co-host? It's Sip and Smoke. Apologies if I messed that up.
No, you're fine. It is Sip and Smoke. Okay. I did that with my co-host. Shout out to AJ. When we were in New York, we had some terrible difficulties, and in the midst of everything, I was transitioning to Atlanta. But we're eventually going to get another show up and running, because that show was particular us, like, you know, side by side. That was my dog, the only person that I would let come over my house during the pandemic. So it was right. So it was a moment for us to experience, but now that we're distanced and things, we got some things cooking in the background. So
that's what's up. And I like both shows, but I was able to see Sip and Smoke and what you guys was doing. I said, man, they about to get lit in that room. Like they about to go in.
Yeah, that's my brother, that's my friend. Actually, he's the one that gave me the little niche to podcasting. Wow. When we met, I didn't even know he was a podcaster. He was a podcaster a year before I even started.
Wow.
So he was like, I think you really have some valid points here. Just like our friend conversation, you know, when you drinking or smoking or, you know, whatever you do with your friends or your homeboys.
Right.
He was like, Marco, you really have some really good point of views, and I cherish these moments, but I want you to cherish these moments with the world.
That's what's
he was
up.
Like, I'm gonna give you at least, the beginning stages of this podcasting, and you just go. He was my first guest on my podcast. First episode is trash. But it's a learning stage for me.
Right.
I don't delete it because that's where I started.
Right.
But if you were to listen to the current episode, you'd be like, damn, this man have really right.
Long way. I understand. And that is, we have so much in common, Marco, because my brother, my he's not my biological brother, but my god brother, shout out to Phil. He started before I was thinking about starting in radio, but he was already there on online radio. And he sent me this link and he said, "You gotta check out my show." And I was instantly like, "You on the radio already? Like, how you just gonna leave me like that?"
Right.
So he's on the radio, online radio, and I'm thinking about going to online radio, and it is so different. I need to say that online radio is so different, and it can be anywhere. For those who considering being a part of an online radio station or have one or creating one, it could be anywhere. I just need to put that out because I was so in the misconception that it had to be like plush, like you see, mainstream radio. It don't necessarily have to be plush. I need to say that. So we have so much in common. How long you been doing Hear Me Out podcast? I don't know if I asked you that, but
2 years.
2 years. Okay.
February 11th.
Wow. Right around the corner.
Right
around the corner. That's what's up. You have a lot of different titles, man, like model, professional mixologist, mental health advocate, actor, host. How do you balance all of that?
I don't. It sometimes it's crazy you ask that. I just had a conversation with my partner about just anxiety and depression and not feeling like I'm doing enough.
Wow.
But reinsurance is everything. Like, I personally around the holidays take about 2 to 3 weeks off away from everything. I don't want to model. I don't want to act. I don't want to do this podcast. And it's a time for me just to sit, reflect over. It's probably like 4 weeks because the last 2 weeks in December and then the first 2 weeks of January, just creating new energy, out with the old, in with the new, and coming back with a bang and really believing in myself and getting that fire really up under my ass.
Right.
So I would say that, but then also during my birthday month, July, shout out to all the cancers. I take a week off and I don't do anything. So those 5 weeks out of 52 really mean a lot to me. And I come back with a fresher brain, more creative concepts, and honestly, hopefully be able to balance all three.
That's what's up.
And scheduling.
Right. It's a lot. So talk about mental health for a minute. You that's your passion, you're an advocate for it. What made you get into it?
So I was going through a very hard breakup. I didn't. No, it's okay. I talk about this is all on my podcast. So I don't even care. I was in a very dark place. I didn't know where I was going, but the famous quote, I know where I've been. Right. And I was like, I know I don't want to deal with that shit no more. And one of my friends, it was like, go see a therapist. And I was like, okay. Like before I wasn't for it. Everybody has their own take on therapy and if it works or whatever the case may be. I was like, Marco, you don't know unless you try. You can listen to everybody else's reviews. It's almost like ordering something off Amazon. Right. Either it's going to work for you or it's not.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
You might get a 5-star review and your order might be fucking trash, and that's okay. But you're going to buy another one.
Right.
My first therapist, he was Puerto Rican. We only had one meeting, and I knew we wasn't connecting how I needed to connect.
This ain't going
And
well.
I was right. And immediately I was like, well, fuck this shit. Like therapy ain't for me. And I was like, Marco, we're gonna try again. We're gonna keep trying until you actually give up. Because I'm not the type of person to give up only once. So I got another therapist. She was a Black woman. I was like, all right, let's go in here. You know, let's be vulnerable. Let's do this, do that. 3 months down the line, pictures started coming off her wall, and I noticed everything. I was like, before we start this session, I feel like you about to leave me. Like, what we doing here? She was like, yeah, I was going to tell you after this session. I was like, you already know what type of person I am. I notice things. Right. I was like, but thank you for your service, because without you, I wouldn't be here. And she suggested me to another therapist. I was like, I don't know, you know, because how my mind works, I'm not going to say the Black mind. All Black people work together and this, that, and the third. And they probably was talking, all that did go. It took me about a month for me to see the new therapist, just because all those thoughts was running. Wow. Spent 1.5 years with the new therapist. And she helped me get over that bump of that dark place. And basically she kept iterating, like, you are not that person. Wow. That's not your story. Yeah, you went through that. Okay. So what's next? Right. She kept it real, and I'm very thankful for her, because without her, I would have moved out of New York. Like, she was like, you're bigger, because I lived in Rochester. Okay. Upstate. Okay. Very white. You know, I had a corporate job and things. And she was like, so what are you going to do? She kept reassuring what I'm going through. So with therapy and meeting my friend AJ and podcasting, it has taken me to go on this journey alone, but also have support, and not only alone, but believe in myself. Right. You got all the knowledge. You know everything. You already know you're a geek and you can do all this. And I used to be a computer kid growing up, video games and all. Okay. So now that I can do this as an adult, I feel like I'm tapping in to something that was ahead of my generation growing up. Right. So I'm thankful.
That's what's up. Love it. We're going to take this quick break. Coming back more with my special guest, Marco DePrence. He is the host of Hear Me Out podcast. Make sure you stick around. Don't go nowhere. If you're watching live right now on YouTube, continue to watch. Grab your popcorn, get some good joint. If you're listening, do the same. Follow the people over there at YouTube and doing what they doing, because it's only going to get better. When we come back, we're going to get more in depth into this interview, but you got to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned. So make sure you are tuned in on YouTube and WLEO 26.7 online radio. Don't go nowhere. Much more to come.
What you listening to?
What? I'm listening to that new station, WLEO 26.7 online radio, man. Baltimore's newest online radio station. Oh my God, they got all the latest music, R&B from the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, jazz and gospel, man. Oh my God, on one station. And I just heard through the grapevine, I don't know how true it is, but they're going to have some talk shows. They're going to have some DJs on there cutting it up. Man, y'all better get on this. WLEO 26.7 online radio. Let me get back to this.
That's right. Tune in to WLEO 26.7 online radio for all the newest music, hip hop and R&B from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Jazz and gospel, as well as new shows and local and national DJs on the ones and twos, getting you ready for the work week ahead. That party vibe or relaxing at home, all on Baltimore's newest online radio station, WLEO 26.7 online radio, worldwide listening entertainment online.
That's right, good people. WLEO 26.7 online radio. Make sure you go and like, subscribe, do what you got to do, but listen to the music. Wide variety of music from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, whether it's gospel, R&B, hip hop, jazz. You like it? We got it. So head on over there at www.WLEO26.7onlineradio.com, or you can download the free. Yes, I said free. It is free at Google Play, Apple App Store, and iTunes. WLEO 26.7 online radio, worldwide listening entertainment online. Hey, good people. Like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening on WLEO radio, thank you. My special guest tonight is the host of Hear Me Out podcast and a whole host of other things. My man, Marco DePrence. What's good with you, fam?
I'm good. I'm blessed, and I'm still black.
That's right. That is the most important thing. You're here and you're black. Yes. I had to wake up this morning. I said, okay, skin color still the same. All right. I'm still black. That's good. That's always a good thing.
I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, the whites trying to take over the country and all, but we'll get into that.
Yes. Can't let that happen. I'm sorry. We was here first, wasn't we?
Yeah. They actually stole our country.
Amongst other things.
I'm thankful I'm thankful for Columbus Day only because I get the day off. That's it. That's and that is all. That's the only reason.
Acknowledging it, sitting down, kumbaya. No, will never fucking happen. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Not even Thanksgiving.
Right.
I'm only here for the food and the drink.
I'm only here for the food. Thank you.
I'm only here for the good food and the good drinks.
Give me the mac and cheese, the turkey. Give me all the shits.
Right.
What challenges, and being in podcasting, what challenges have you faced doing podcasting?
Consistency. Last year, let's rewind a little bit. So my first year of doing this shit, I was like, go, interview, do this, do that. Right. And then like 2021 hit, and I was just like downhill. But also I went uphill with acting and modeling and building my brand. So, and I say this on my, well, I don't say it all the time, but I've said it a few times. Like, it's okay to take a break from things as long as you're working on your future and other things that you want to perfect.
Right.
Modeling, good skin, minding my own business, drinking water, and I love the camera. So I was like, why not? I'm in Atlanta. There's tons of photographers. Let's do my own photo shoots.
Dope pictures, by the way.
Appreciate it. Wait until you see this website, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, thank you. Talk about the website.
Yo,
it is launching. When is it launching?
The 24th.
Right. Yeah, talk about that for a minute, please.
I have been working on this website since November. The week before Thanksgiving. Okay. And it's 2 months later, and I'm just now loving the final touches. Talk about meetings every week.
Okay.
Like emails sent at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning talking about, I don't like this. Like, A little fact about me. So I'm a Cancer, but I'm also Virgo. So Sun rising.
Okay.
And I forget the order, but I'm Cancer, Virgo.
Right.
So my Virgo side
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, somebody listening will figure it out.
Right.
But my Virgo side came in during the holidays of being creative and things, but then like my Cancer side came in because anxiety and just like, oh my gosh, like I've never really had control over my whole story of what I actually bring to the table. So not only having one baby, I'm about to have two. And that's how I feel. Like I'm gonna have to continue podcasting because that's what people love me for and know me as.
Right.
I have a website that I got to keep updating people about of the things that I'm going on.
Right.
But then also, I still got to model. I still got to act. I still got to book gigs. I still got to go to work. Still got to market and shit. So it's been a great process. Long nights, early mornings. But I'm thankful for the experience, and I can't wait to share it to the world.
What's the website?
MarcoDePrence.com. MarcoDePrence. You see it right there on the screen.
At the bottom. That launch is next Monday.
Yes, Monday, January 24th at 7:18 p.m.
Yes. Please send me details. I'll make sure I post it for my people out there to watch and be on the lookout. This brother is definitely doing his thing. And speaking of acting, you was rubbing some elbows with some serious people. And I'm talking about Nick Cannon, Bruce, what's her name? Lori, Lunell. Yes. Talk about that for a minute. What was that feeling like being in that room?
Yo, like again, like I am blessed, but to be in the room with legends that I, growing up at 9, 10, 11, have seen on TV, Comic View and sitcoms and award shows. And I'm just like, Marco, you are on to something. And sometimes as people, we don't know what we're on to until we envision it.
Right.
Like I sat with Bruce and Lunell. They gave me, they gave us because it was a group of us, but a motivational speech about how to be successful in this industry. And they made it so simple. All they said was continue to be yourself and believe in your vision.
That's what's
and like anybody can tell you that, but coming from other people that you have watched that are icons, that are, doing things that they love and their true self on set, I'm like, that's me. Like, I don't want to change who I am per se. Like, take me as I am or don't take me as all.
There you go. That's a song.
And
shout out to Mary J.
I had Lunell on my left side and Bruce on my right. And now that you asked that, I should have had somebody come around and just take a picture of us like in one frame. But you win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day.
Right.
And yeah, just down to earth people. Like encouraging the generation after them. Her goddaughter was on set, Nick Cannon, Chrisette Michelle, Tiana Taylor, Jim Jones, like Little Kim, like oh my bad, sorry. Like even like I said, like I tell myself this going on set every time. Granted, whether I make it in the frames or not, I'm still blessed to even be casted to be in the same room as these people. Right. And yes, I'm working, I'm talking and everything. So eventually everybody wants to be on frame with these famous people. But I'm like, If it happens, it happens. If
Right.
it doesn't, it doesn't. Because I had something personal that nobody can take away from me.
Right. Right.
So again, the man above, I thank him for everything that he has done in my life and everything that he is going to continue to do.
Right. Right. Talk about consistency for a minute. You have mentioned consistency,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I want people to understand this word. You know, that consistency is ongoing. You know, but sometimes, like you said, you need to take a break. You know, sometimes it get overwhelming. Sometimes you just need to take that break to get away from it all. But consistency, if you're into it, you just can't do it one day and not do it the other days. You have to be spot on every day. The reason why I say that is because in this industry, podcast and live streaming, whatever you want to call it, you have to get the word out. You know, if you don't have the monies to hire people to get that your brand out, then you have to do it the best way you know how. So talk about consistency for a minute, and I really want people to understand that, you know, because I have people like that. You know, they think that I'll do it strong this day, and it's supposed to last, but you got to do it every single day. So talk about consistency in your own opinion for a moment.
One thing I want to tell people, any creatives, business owners, creatives, the internet is forever. So whatever product you put out, keep it on the internet. You never know who's going to rewatch it. It might go viral. That might be your deal. I've met so many people in Atlanta that has removed their projects off of YouTube and the internet and things. And I'm like, I get it. You don't like it anymore. But the thing to me, that's growth. You might not like it, but you might touch the heart of somebody else in that moment.
Right.
Because you experienced that.
Right.
So I say that be consistent. Whenever you feel that, I'll call it the moment in your chest where you feel like your heart is beating really fast, pick up the mic, pick up the pen, get in front of the camera, put on a cute outfit and go. Because there's a reason why you're in that moment. Consistency for me, I wish I can be better at it, but it has helped me grow as an individual and given my viewers, listeners, fans, or people that supporters that really fuck with me a chance. Like they're always looking for something. And I got friends in my corner like last year that was like, so Marco, you ain't put no podcast out. Why not? And I'm like, I'm working on some things. So what you working on that's more important than your podcast? And me, I'm a private person. This is where the Virgo come in when I'm the Virgo and the Cancer. I'm like, I don't want to let you know that yet because when I know it's produced and finalized, the rest of the world will know. So don't stress me about what I'm not doing. But I see that there's a demand for episodes. Okay, Marco. Yeah, this is Hear Me Out. Every week is something different. Just give them something. Troll them. Trolling is big right now on the internet. If you get viral off of one thing, you're going to keep doing that thing over and over and over and gain those numbers and things. You've touched those people. So my thing is with consistency, just keep going. Even with myself, I know sometimes I don't feel the need to do it. But again, I put myself in a whole space. I light incense. I light a candle. I might have a drink, play some of my favorite music, and sit in my office for an hour before I record. And when I do my podcast, I'm literally sitting here until I feel that moment. I'm like, right now is the time to record. Let's just go. And so if you don't like it, yeah, you can delete it and redo it over. But I don't edit my shit. I've only edited one episode that I've ever had. Or
Trust me,
I only
I suck at editing, so I'm like you. I ain't editing a damn thing because I suck at it. And when I suck at it, I just don't do it. You know, not saying that I don't, but I'm like you. I hate editing. That's the word. So if I hate it, I ain't doing it. You see what I'm saying? You make it a minute just for Instagram purposes, But other than that, that's it.
And I thought it was a bad thing, not editing your shit and doing this, but like I've been on set with Tyler Perry, and one thing about him, I know people talk about him about like him creating seasons so fast and having so many shows and the same story plot. But when I sit back and think like as a creative, it's like, but he has a point. Why do I want to keep doing this scene over and over and over? These actors have minds and emotions. Like, let's get it within the first take or second take, maybe the third take, but we'll work with what we got and make it something. Not only do I have an avenue here, but I also have all these other shows that I can personally learn from. And go ahead.
Not to take a bit from what you were talking about, you had mentioned Tyler Perry. He is an awesome motivational speaker.
He is.
Oh my! That man should just be a preacher,
And I'm gonna say, like, some of his movies, cringeworthy. You might not like some of the plots might not make sense. Okay, but one thing about us humans, we're learning every day.
Right.
Like, I still don't know how the woman got off the boat in acrimony. But he was like, next question in the interview. It's not for you to understand. I made a mistake. Okay, but let's move on.
We are human. We are allowed to make mistakes. We're not perfect. Not perfect. Wow. The listen to listen trend is taking over right now in podcasting. If you ever go in a group of podcasting, it's the listen to listen for listening. What are your thoughts on that?
So when I first got into it, I was like, oh, like for listen, subscribe to my show, do this. And then I was like, you know what, Marco, that's not authentic. That's not how you're gonna gain listenership. But what you can do is join these different groups of podcasters, and maybe one person might join. Okay, maybe two people might join. That's not for you to dictate. Consistency lasts forever. And I'm always going to reference her, but Issa Rae did a fucking YouTube awkward black girl and had a complete 5 seasons Insecure on HBO. But not only paved the way for her, but paved the way for everybody that she brought on to her team.
Right.
She had 3 writers for her that helped her write Insecure, and now those 3 writers have their own show.
Right.
So I'm just like, let's just stay fucking consistent.
Right.
Even with myself, like talking to y'all, but also talking to myself, like, no idea is a bad idea. It might not be your idea right now, but put it in your journal book.
Right.
You might be able to come back to that. I got a whole fucking journal book of just ideas.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this would be a great idea.
Right.
Maybe not right now for you. And if somebody else come up with the idea, scratch it fucking off. But you got to believe in yourself to be able to recreate that.
Right.
How you want it to be told.
That's what's up.
Look at Girlfriends and Golden Girls. Same plot.
Yeah.
2 different generations. Older white woman. Like, what were they, like 20 to like 28?
Yeah.
And whatever, that age range. Same plot, different story, different audience, and both people like both.
Right. Friends. With
Friends.
Living Single. They said Living Single and Friends was the same thing, just skin color different.
Right.
Same amount of people, same, the neighbors, the two guys, and I never watched Friends.
I've
But I did.
never seen one episode.
I did. Marco, I swear, my
I've
wife.
never
Oh
seen an
God,
episode.
that is her show. Like, don't ask me. I don't even know the words, and that's all I know.
Was that the theme song?
Yeah, that was the theme song.
Oh,
Yeah.
would never knew. I would have lost some Family Feud.
Right. I know people going to ask me about how you know the theme song and then clapping. I said, well, she watch it. So if she watch it, I watch it. But half the time I'm asleep. So that's how all I know is the clapping.
Right.
So let's switch gears for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a trending topic, which is today is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day, where we acknowledge the sacrifice, the hardship, the commitment, the dedication for civil rights for all people. In your thoughts, what do this day symbolize for you?
Well, this day in the past used to symbolize service.
Right.
I used to be a part of AmeriCorps alumni, where, for those of y'all don't know, AmeriCorps is a nonprofit organization funded by the government where we take a year off of employment and volunteer in our communities to give back. So on this particular day is Martin Luther King Service Day, where speaking from my experience again, I had the pleasure to go to elementary, middle, or high schools to service, whether it's paint, read books, or get food out. But it's a day of service where it's like 10 to 12 hours where you're just servicing the community. Wow. And I think that's what Martin Luther King was about. He wasn't doing the whole black, white, male, female thing. He was like, you guys are missing my picture. Like, let's serve each other.
Right.
The blacks and whites don't have to argue. Like, it doesn't have to be white onlys and black onlys and this, that, and the third. But for me as a person, like, I love MLK Day.
Right.
I'm surprised that they even made it a national holiday.
Right.
In some industries. But I personally think on Martin Luther King Day, nobody should have to work. The whole country should be shut down. He did a lot for our country.
Yes.
And I also had the pleasure of going to the March on Washington in September 2020 to see his third son preach and his granddaughter give an amazing poem. So just being there around that energy and around black people, white people, Asian people, gay, straight, whatever you identify yourself as, just taking in all that energy and not letting society define you as a person. Right. We're there for one purpose.
Right. Right.
So
awesome. Now, despite all the things that you're doing right now, model, actor, mixologist, host, podcast host, mental health advocate. If you were not doing any of those things, what would you think you'll be doing?
Talking shit? No, I'm just kidding. What would I be doing if I was not doing this? That's a really good question. If there were some stipulations in what I'm about to say, I would probably more than likely be doing retail. And retail from a personal styling point of view. Wow. I love little history. I used to personal style for a big retailer in America. And it made me feel good to know that I can make people feel good in new shoes, new clothing, date nights, anniversaries, weddings, or whatever the case may be. I would probably be doing that, but I wouldn't want to do it during the holiday season.
Right. Oh, My God.
That's the only thing. Like from October 31st to like January 17th, Martin
Mhm.
Luther King Day, like I would not be working doing personal styling, but I would probably do on retail. I did it for about 6-7 years.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
yeah, that's where I get all my fashion from.
It's awesome. Awesome. Also, I need to mention the person that I was just talking about, Tipsy Fiend. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to my big little sister. I call her my sister, Denise. I'm putting a government out there. She says she'll be in the Atlanta area on February the 17th to the
Mm-hmm.
21st. And she's a certified mixologist.
Okay.
Drinks are like beyond awesome. Tipsy Fiend. When you get a chance, look her up. Whole mobile bar. She does it right here in Baltimore. So she's going to be in the Atlanta area. And this is all about networking. So if
Mm-hmm.
she's there, I'll connect you two guys up and y'all have
Yes,
at it,
please.
make them bomb drinks. So she just wanted me to send you her information like I will. And you two can connect. Last but not least, we come to the part of the show of advice because I believe that advice can go a long way. So, word of advice. If you can travel back in time, and I'm currently working on that. I'm currently developing time travel device.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go back in time, Marco, to the age of 16, what would you tell your 16 self?
Whew. You gonna do this on live?
Yes. You really gonna do this?
Damn, 16-year-old Marco. So I was a junior. Be true to yourself.
Mm,
Don't feel like you have to put a front on for people that fuck with you,
right,
for people that don't fuck with you.
right,
Be true to yourself.
right.
When I was 16, I was so as much as I'm speaking freely and an extrovert and shit, like I'm an introvert. Like I used to be the extrovert, but you know, be out at the club and shit. But like, yes, I'm a good time,
Mhm.
but I like to do it on my own time.
There you go.
And I felt like when I was, you know, junior in high school, I was just a part of so many social circles.
Circles.
And I don't want to say I was doing it because of them, but you know, they accepted me for my vibe. And Marco, over the years, like you're gonna know that you're the leader of the pack.
Mm,
Like you don't gotta follow people, you don't gotta join all these different social circles and
mm,
try to prove yourself here and do that. Like
mhm.
be true to yourself and remember that you're the leader of your own pack.
That's what's up. Love it. Absolutely love that. Wow. Hey man, thank you so much again for coming on the show and just spending time here on Let's Talk with Edigga to talk about your journey,
Mhm.
your journey in podcasting, all your other endeavors. It's just so remarkable. And beside the launch of your website, what else do you have coming up, if you care to share?
Oh, what else do I got coming up? Actually, my main focus right now is really just my website.
Right.
Um, the main focus behind it is, you know, I love Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, you know, all those social medias. But like my whole idea is to be, well, not my idea, but when I hear the phrase social influencer, I personally think of a one-stop shop. That's
Mm,
why I have created my own website.
right.
I personally feel like with my experience of my journey that I have been going through, I have been sharing different personalities on different social medias, which, you know, it could be great. Okay, whatever, whatsoever. But in my mind, I literally want people to go to one site so they can see everything that I offer.
Right.
So I'm really passionate about what I got coming with the site. And I'm thankful for anybody that, you know, stay tuned for what I got going on and wants to subscribe to any of my shows and follow me on this journey of being a star. I'm manifesting and creating my own way.
That's what's up. And speaking of which, Hear Me Out podcast can be heard
everywhere you find a podcast. You can hear me out: Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Google, iHeart, Stitcher, Breaker. Anywhere you find a podcast, you can find me.
Okay. I'm typing this as you talk on all.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. But actually, if you could just go to the website next Monday and you can find all my episodes.
Right. Okay.
Just marcodeprince.com, MarcoDePrence. You will find all the podcasts that I have done solo, people that I have brought on my podcast, but then also, I'm giving you like a real exclusive, where I am heard on other people's podcasts and sharing my journey.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Shout out to my sister who is watching. Shout out to Vet Green. Hope you're feeling better. Get stronger. We got some work to do, girl. That's what's up. Hey, man, again, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to leave this website up so people can take note and be ready for that launch next Monday. www.marcodeprince.com. Make sure you are somewhere close to a device to watch the launch of this great website, because it is going to be lit. I know it. I feel it. Thank you again, sir, for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. We definitely going to be linking up soon. We have so much in common. Actually, my birthday is in July. I'm a
July
Leo.
what?
July 26th.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know if the something rising, the sun or the dolphins is rising. I don't know all of that. All I know is I'm a lion. So, so definitely we going to be linking up and talking real soon. I appreciate you, brother, for all that you do, and continue to do you. Continue to do you and all that you do, man. Hey, everybody. This has been Let's Talk with Edigga podcast right here in the studios of Charm City Direct TV. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, all of that good stuff. Like I said, whether you're watching on YouTube at Charm City Direct TV, or you're tuned in to the sister station, which is WLEO 26.7 online radio, worldwide listening, entertainment, online. I have been your host, the man that you all know and love. Super shout out to my special guest, Marco DePrence. Hey, I holler at you when I smile at you. Peace.